guys, hope you're well. Today we're going to look at different types of guitar and what guitar is right for you. This is a question I get asked a lot when I'm teaching. I've got short fingers, I've got long fingers, I've got fat hands, I've got thin hands. You know, there's always an excuse by somebody of what kind of hand they've got so they can't play the actual guitar. It's not true. I've got lessons from every background of having short hands, of having long fingers, of having chubby fingers, you know what I mean? So it's absolutely ridiculous that people think that they can't play just because the hand is either, you know, a little bit different to somebody else's. Look at all the great guitar players, and even look at Django Reinhardt. I mean, he had 2 fingers and he could still play. So, yeah, whatever your circumstance is, you can play. So let's have a look through what makes the best guitar for you. There are different types of guitars out there. You've got smaller body guitars, you've got bigger body guitars, you've got electric guitars, you've got all sorts of different guitars. And the best way to choose what's most comfortable for you is to actually go and try one out yourself. That will really make a difference. If you can sit down, you can hold it, you can feel it, you can, even if you can't play anything, you can at least pick it up and just have a feel and see if it feels right. So number one, what I want to go into is types of necks that you get on guitars. So if you're not familiar with them, this is my electric guitar right here. And I've just dinged it because the phones fell on top of it as I was setting up the camera. So never mind. So rule number one is always look after your guitars. But if you look at this guitar, it's what's known as a Telecaster. Now this one is a custom, which means that it's got the humbucker pickups in as opposed to the normal Tele arrangement. Now the body on this guitar is very thin compared to when it comes to acoustics. This means that it can sit flat to your body, and if you're sitting down like I am now, it's quite comfortable as you can hold it right in. So your hand can come round, you're not stretching out, you're not putting your arm over it, you know what I mean? It just sits nice and comfortable. If you're stood up, however, again, because it's a flat body, you can wear a strap over the guitar, just sit it comfortable around you, adjust it to where you want. You won't have an issue. Electrics are the thinnest of anything, near enough. They're always a good starting point. Let's come on to acoustics then. So this one is my Tanglewood, and this guitar I love completely, but it's got a bit more thicker body. This is electroacoustic as well, that's why that's there. So it's a bit more of a thicker body, which means that your arm does have to come round, but you can sit comfortable with it, especially if you're more experienced, and you can get a nice sort of tone out of it. And then the other acoustic you can get on the market is this one, and it's called a parlour guitar, which means that the body's quite shorter in this angle, which means that when you sit down, it sits more low on you, so you pretty much play the neck a lot more clearly than having to come up over the top. This guitar again is one of my favourites. This is the one that I normally teach on. But like I say, other than my Tanglewood, these two here, the cheap guitars, so they're not, if I ding them like I have with that one just now, it doesn't matter too much, you know what I mean? It's going to happen at some point. So let's come on to the necks of the guitar then. This is what it's really about. So you've got 2 different types of neck. You've got the C neck and you've got the V neck. And what that means is the curve of the neck on the back. So I'm just going to take an example here. So if you can see, this Tanglewood is a C neck guitar, which means that if you can see from here, you can place your thumb on the back rather easily. It's more flat as opposed to the V shape, which comes more at a point. And with this, it's easier to be able to keep your thumb flat to the back so that you can easily play your chords. Now let's look at the V-shaped neck. So this one here, it's going to be quite hard for me to show you on camera, but this neck comes more to a point than it does. If I do this, you might be able to see that it more or less goes like a V. So this means that your thumb has a bit of a deeper ridge to play with. And these I really do like the V-neck on guitars. They really do make a difference to your playing. But however, it all depends on the grip. If you want to be more flat thumb at the back, I'd go for the C. If you want to be a bit more curved in, I'd go for the V. Like I say, there's many different ways to play. There's many different styles of guitar playing. So it all depends on what you want to do. There's no right or wrong guitar as long as it suits you. And that's what it's all about. And obviously with the electric as well, let me just pause that. With the electric, with this one, it's got a C neck on it as well. So it's very nice and easy to just pick up and play. Especially when it's plugged in, it's really nice. So the other thing to look at as well is how you sit with the guitar. Because a lot of people go to me, why do you sit with it over this part of your leg? Or some people sit with it between the legs and play up like this. It all depends on how you want to play, how you want it to start. And like I say again, there's no set way. I mean, if you've got your own style, that makes you in your guitar playing. That makes you play the way that you want to play it. If you want to mimic somebody or imitate somebody, then you can do that. But you have to look into how they play and adjust your style to their position. The next one is all about seating position. So I'm just going to show you through now, like with this Tanglewood, how I hold this guitar. So normally what I do is, because this is called a cutaway guitar, which means that this part comes out, as the parlour doesn't, it makes it easier for you to get up to the top of the neck. But also, with that nice little cutout, you can kind of just rest it upon this knee. Some people play these like this in between. It's not been a way that I've ever sort of played, to be fair. But yeah, like I say, you just sit comfortable. Just make it comfortable for yourself. That's what it's all about, just making it comfortable. So yeah, so that's how I'd sit with it. And I'd play my chords straight through, nice and clear. So now it's all about where the fingers go on the guitar. So once you've got your guitar, once you've got used to the neck, you picked it up, you've had a little go, you're not quite sure where to go with it yet, but what you want to do more than anything is you want to make sure that your fingers don't sit flat when you're playing like this. You want them to be more arched up. And this is a technique that everybody should practice. So it's with this part here, this little front knuckle, if you like, they need to stay forward, almost like you're clasping sort of thing. And the other thing to do as well is that hold it like you would a baseball bat, so with a grip that's firm. So your open chord playing, you play more like what I've just said about, which is where the fingers are arched over. With a bar chord position, if I'm playing an A, for example, so an A major would be like this. The bar chord version of that would be like this. So what you have to do here is move your fingers to make some of them arched, but this one flat. And that's the only time that you keep this finger flat, is when you do a bar chord. Other than that, you pretty much keep your fingers raised at all times. That's the best way. The arch. Practice that. Practice getting that arch. And the last thing that I want to talk about really is stretching. A lot of people don't do this, but I think it's really important, especially if you want to up your game of your guitar playing. So what you'd start with is just take your hand, stretch it as far as it will go. Place it on a desk or something and just put a little bit of pressure on it. Not too much that you're going to strain yourself, but just put a little bit of pressure, and over time that works the the stretch of the hand, it works the muscles inside that to be able to play in a lot more advanced places. So you get chords more like this, or like this. So that, again, you're not just set to your normal open chords. But for choosing your guitar, again, it's completely down to you. It's depending on what you want to play. If you want to play electric, then by all means have a feel of a few electrics. Look for the type of neck. That's what you want to do. Look for a C neck, look for a V neck. On acoustic, exactly the same thing, but you've got to think with acoustics as well, it's mainly about the bodies being big or small. So if you want to have a look at something like a 3/4 size guitar, then by all means do that as well. It doesn't really matter as long as you've got to think that when you're learning, you want to learn comfortable. Another thing that I think is really good to get as well, to practice that arch of your fingers, is to learn the scales. I'll leave the link in the description below so that you can see a video on all the scales. So there's 5 scales that you can learn, and just practice them every day. It will really train your fingers up. Here, I'll give you a demonstration of one. So if you just practice that scale, so if you practice scales, then this really helps with how the fingers move, with how they adjust to the neck. It's very important, and trust me, I do them every single day. Still to this day, I still warm up with scales. It's fundamentally the best way to learn. So I hope that this has made it a little bit more clear for you on what you're looking for when you buy something. If you do have any questions, then feel free to just drop it in the comments. I'll read them and I'll get back to you. But other than that, just keep practicing every single time that you see a guitar. I keep mine on the stand, just in the living room. I pick it up whenever I walk by, pretty much. So just pick it up, play, enjoy it. More than anything, enjoy it. That's what it's about. It's all about enjoyment. And once you get a guitar that you're happy with, that you can sit with, that's comfortable for you, you'll be able to play whatever you want very, 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 very quickly. Obviously, you've got to train and practice, but you know what I mean? It will all get better for you. Hope this is all good for you. I'll see you in the next video. If you do want to check out my scale video, the link will be in the description below. Also, there's another video that shows you your 3 basic chords. I recommend you check that out and have a check through the page, see what else you can learn from me. And I'll see you in the next video. So like, subscribe, hit the bell on so that you get all the notifications, and I'll see you later. Bye.